You are listening to Studio MacGyver's Dragon Ball and Video Game Podcast.
This is for you. For scaring those things away.
What is going down? What the fuck is going down? It is your boy, Studio McGyver, and you are listening to Studio McGyver's Dragon Ball and Video Game Podcast. Welcome to the show, guys. If you're new to the podcast, welcome to the show. We talk about video games, we talk about anime, we talk about nerd culture. If you're into all of that, then you come to the right place. So let's get started. It's been a nice, interesting week, guys, in the world of gaming. Wish I could say the same for anime because I haven't really been watching anything new. Let me say that, anything new. I have been watching Fire Force. I have rewatched pretty much all of Fire Force Season 1, getting ready to segue into Season 2. I think I'm on episode like 20. So I think I have like 4 more episodes left, and then I can segue into Season 2 finally of Fire Force, even though the second season isn't done yet. And I don't know if I should be doing that or not because, I have a habit of jumping in because I can't wait. I kind of want it to play itself out so I can watch it all in its entirety because I love Fire Force, and I don't want to watch, one of the episodes and then get stopped and have to wait again and then drift off and try to find something else. But that's where I'm at now. Anytime I get ready to watch a new season of anime, I kind of like to go back and get caught up on, previous seasons. You know what I mean? I did the same thing when the last season of Attack on Titan came out, and I rewatched that. So I'll probably do that again this final season of Attack on Titan. But that's where I'm at on the anime tip. Not a lot going on. Now, there are some things happening in the world of Dragon Ball in the manga. And I don't want to really talk about that until it's completely done. We are approaching the end of that. So when that does happen, I'm definitely going to want to do a show or, definitely talk deeply about this in a podcast, in an upcoming podcast, because, I started this podcast on the love of Dragon Ball, and there hasn't been a lot of Dragon Ball talk on here. And that's just not to say I didn't want to talk about Dragon Ball. It's just I'm waiting for some new shit to come around, and I'm hoping that Toriyama and those guys are, getting us ready for the anime to return. I really say that with my fingers crossed because, Dragon Ball is like one of the ones that birthed me, segued me into the world of anime so many years ago. But I can't wait to talk about the manga, guys. It's one of the best arcs. And I've said this before. It's one of the fucking best arcs that they've done in a long fucking time. So hopefully we get to see this brought out in the anime scene. And yeah, I'll be extremely happy with that. But on this show, we have a few things to address. Okay. One of those things is going to be a company by the name of Nvidia. Now, if you guys are PC heads out there, you know who this company is. I don't have a lot to say about this, but I thought it was interesting, and I'm not a PC guy by any stretch of the imagination, but I thought I'd talk about it a little bit because it has some things to do with comparisons to the Xbox and the Sony, the next generation consoles coming up. So I want to kind of talk a little bit about that. I also got some Sony and Microsoft talk. I want to talk about, the dates that are coming up, the news that, we're going to be getting pretty soon, the prices and all of that. We're going to get into that. I have some things to say about that said subject. Also, Nintendo. We can't neglect Nintendo, guys. Nintendo has been going hard as of late, and we have some new Nintendo news. Not all of it good, depending on how you look at it. Gonna jump into that. Also, EA. I know it. A lot of you guys who've been down with me from day one, you're probably wondering what the fuck is he going to say about EA now? Because EA has really, and I mean really, been going extra hard. They've been taking that extra mile. They've been doing everything in their powers to get this butter on the shelves at all the stores, anywhere. I'm talking about 7-Eleven. I'm talking about Kroger's, any grocery store you can think of, EA is really trying to get their butter in these stores because they want to fuck all of you. Okay. And they are going to do everything in their powers to do so. Going to talk about that. And then we're going to talk about some Marvel Avengers. Yes, the game is out now. A lot of people feel certain type of ways about it. And I'm going to jump into that. So without further fucking ado, let's begin the motherfucking show. All right, guys, I'm going to start with a little Nvidia talk. Now, if you guys don't know what that is, it's a company who makes computers. They're known out here in these digital streets, and they do a lot of things. Now, as far as PC gaming is concerned, guys, I have nothing. I know nothing about PC gaming. I have, wanted to get more involved in it. The furthest I've gotten when it comes to PC gaming is just, maybe a couple Steam games on my laptop. That's about it. Nothing graphically, taxing or anything like that. Just some simple shit, usually, some emulations and stuff like that. I think PS1 is the furthest I've went. PS1 emulation is as far as I've gotten on that. And that is it. And that is fucking all. Everything else, I guess I can address that. I'll address that in a minute. My son was just in the background yelling. I specifically told him to stay in his goddamn room. But this is what I deal with, guys. So I'm just going to keep it in the show because let's just roll with it. These things happen every once in a while. And I think it's kind of funny, if I'm being honest. But anyway, about this Nvidia thing, apparently they have some new hardware coming out very, very soon, guys. And if you're PC heads, you probably already know about this. PC gaming, to me, it's always been over the top, so to speak, for me, because it's just, in my opinion, it's just too much money that I'm willing to spend to do, to play those games and all of that. And most people who talk about PC gaming, they're really heavily into the graphics and performance side of things, as far as, frame rates and graphics of 4K plus and all of those things. So, I'll leave that to you guys, but I thought it was interesting because they have 3 different versions coming out very, very soon. One of the versions is $1,500. That's the most expensive one. That's called the RTX 3090. Now, this thing is supposed to be pushing 8K at 60 frames per second. Now, if you guys are into all of that, hey, go crazy with the shit. And it sounds very, very impressive. And yeah, that's cool. $1,500 though, man, that's a lot. And then the next one is the RTX 3080, and that one is going for $700. And that one is pretty powerful in its own right as well. Now, the one that they're really trying to push, though, the one that I've been seeing all over the gateways, everywhere I can fucking see, everybody's been talking about, is the RTX 3070. And the reason why that is because it's got a price point of $500. Now, I see a lot of people comparing this to the next gen consoles that are about to come out. And people are saying, well, should you get a next gen console or should you just roll with this piece of hardware here? Because, this is going to be the best piece of hardware. But then I had to think and ask myself some questions, and really ask myself, are you a PC player? And I can simply answer that no. But what would make somebody want to say, okay, let's not mess with Sony, let's not mess with Microsoft, and let's go and try to see what this hardware is about? Now, for somebody who doesn't know anything about PC, which is me, this device that they're selling is not the only piece you need to run the games you want to play on. That's if you're thinking that's what it is, it's not. It's not a standalone system. You have to have, I guess, a shell. I guess what they call it, where basically, you have to put these other parts in there and connect them all together and build you a custom PC for these things to actually take flight. So you're really looking at more than that 500. You're looking at 500 plus tax, which is going to be about 550. And then you have to take into effect that you need these other pieces and parts to actually put all this in place and have it actually working. Now, you can do it yourself if you know what you're doing, or have somebody do it for you and pay them. So after you spend all this money, you're going to be spending a nice chunk of change to get all of this up and running is basically what I'm trying to say. So it's technically not $500. It's more than that. And for people like me who are just people who want to play games, simply buy a device that's made to play games, plug that shit up, hit the power button, do a couple, downloads or whatever, and then get to fucking work. That's what I'm talking about. That's where I'm at. And, you know, coming up back in the day from growing up with Nintendo all the way up until now, the current gen situation, I mean, that's just better for me. And it's probably better for a lot of players. Now, there are PC lovers out there, and I'm not hating on PC. I never really talk about PC because that's not my wheelhouse. And I'm trying to stay out of that because, you know, if I'm not living that life, so to speak, then, you know, I try to stay away from it. But I thought I'd bring that up because it's interesting that these guys are bringing all these things out. And I know a lot of this is going to sell, especially for the real PC players out there. And the one that's really caught me is the $500 one, because that one is the most price friendly. And that one might get a lot of people who've thought about getting into PC gaming, because I'm not saying that I've never thought about it. It's just that the price has never been right for me. So if I were to do, you know, PC gaming or try to, you know, get my feet wet, this is the one I would probably end up going for. And that's probably what they understand. It's probably what they know. And that's probably why they're pushing the shit. You know what I mean? And that's cool. And maybe one day I will, when I get the money, when I get my money right and I, you know, can live with spending that much money at one time, then I might be able to do that. But with everything else on the horizon, and I still have lots of things to buy and purchase for, you know, my older consoles and things that I would like to buy and things I would like to do. I'll take care of that stuff first and then worry about PC gaming. And also, when you talk about PC gaming has a lot of games that are PC only, but they have a lot that are not. And my thing with PC gaming as well is, you know, me personally, I buy game systems for the first party games. I'm buying a system because I want to play the games that I know this company is going to make, you know, and Sony comes to mind all the time. Nintendo can also be using that same argument because you know what you're getting with Nintendo. You know what they're going to be giving you. You know those games that you like to play, and Nintendo's going to do it. And then some. Same thing with Sony, and Microsoft has their own thing as well sometimes. So, you know, it just depends on what you want to play, because there's a lot of games that will never ever come out for the PC. And, you know, there's a lot of games that I know are coming out for the Sony PlayStation, and I still want to play them. And that's why I'm leaning towards Sony. But that's just me. I'm not trying to speak for anybody else. You know, everybody has their own preference. One man's trash is definitely another man's treasure. I will say that. So it is what it is. I just wanted to talk about it real quick. On the release dates on these things, the 3070, which is the $500 one, that's coming out sometime in October. There's no specific date. It's just October. That's somewhere in that window. And if you're talking about the 3080, that's going to be $700. That's going to be September 17th. And then the big macaroni, which is going to be the 3090, that is going to be $1,500. And that is dropping on September 24th. So be looking out for those guys. I know there's some pre-orders that are going up pretty soon. And I heard that those things are going to go like fucking hotcakes, expensive as they are. But that world, that PC world, I know nothing about. So, you know, if you guys are listening, you school me, you know, you want to let me know, give me some game on PC gaming, please do so. I would love to hear from you guys. All right. Now, getting off of the PC tip and getting into some other things, some console things. Let's get into some of that, man. Let's get into some of this news out here in these digital streets. And one of the things I want to talk about is the Marvel Avengers game. Okay, the game is out now. I did play the beta. I had my taste of it. I played with friends and tested it out and whatnot. And, you know, my personal opinion on the game is pretty much what the average gamer is saying about the game. Metacritic right now is one of the only reviews out. There's a lot of other people reviewing the game, and it's in progress right now. But right now it stands at about a 7 out of 10. That's what the game is giving them. And right now, that's the vibe I got. I got about a 7 out of the game. The story looked really good. I think they really wrote the story really well from what we got a chance to play in the beta. And that's what people are saying when they were playing it, that they really liked the story. They thought it was really put together well. And the online aspect of it is where it got a little shaky. And that is where, you know, I'm not going to say it fell flat, because there's still a lot of people who are really enjoying this game, but the game is riddled with a lot of fucking bugs right now at this present time. As of this fucking recording, there's a lot of things going on bug wise with this game. And that's to be expected when you're dealing with a multiplayer type of game like this. It's going to happen. You're going to get that shit. And it's a constant everyday. Well, I ain't going to say every day, but every couple of weeks, maybe every week, updating this thing because they plan on, this is going to be continued service. So there's going to be updates. There's going to be, all things that they're going to be adding to it, new characters, all the things. Black Panther is on the way. R.I.P. Chadwick Boseman. All of these things are going to be happening. So, it's going to get better as far as, I guess, the technical aspect of the game is concerned. But my question is, what about the playability of the game? Because a lot of people have stated that they see themselves getting very bored with the game after a short time. And I found myself getting slightly bored with the online aspect of it after a little while. It was definitely fun for a while, and then it kind of fizzled out a little bit for me towards the end of that. And that's just where I stand on it. A lot of people may feel different, and I'm a Marvel guy too. I love Marvel. Okay. I'm looking at Captain America on my shelf right fucking now. I'm looking at Punisher. I'm looking at Cyclops. I'm looking at these guys right now on my shelf. So I am a Marvel guy. It's just that, I want to see this game do well. I really, really do. But I had to ask myself, would you spend 60 on it right now? And the answer for that, right now, I'd have to say no. Right now. Now I could change my mind later. Like I said, update the work. Currently right now, apparently they're working on some update, a major update for this game. And it's supposed to get a lot of things back in line. I love Captain America. I'm a huge Captain America fan. Okay. I love this dude. So I really want to play some Captain America gameplay. I really, really do. So I'm not going to say I'm not going to buy this game or ever play it or whatever. I'm eventually going to buy it. The question is, how much will it be when I do? And then, like I said, when they add new characters and things of that nature, I think every month they're going to be adding new characters. So that'll make it interesting as well. They'll also be adding, about an hour's worth of content per each character. And, you play that for 2 or 3 hours, you'll probably be done with it. And then it'll be back to online doing raids and things of that nature, depending on what they give us with more updates and with the new things that they add to the game. That's really where we're at right now. So a solid 7 out of 10 sounds about right. And that, anything lower than that would constitute me not buying a game. I've bought games that were 7s, but I typically like my games to be 8+ for me to spend money on them. You know what I mean? Even 7.5, give me a little taste. Okay. 2 teaspoons, but that's just me. Okay. But that's where I stand on the game. That's what's going on right now. More reviews will become apparent, and I may discuss those later and kind of get a feel of what other people are feeling about the game. But I had a chance to play the beta. That was enough for me to determine if I was going to buy it day one or not, and I chose not to. And I'll leave it at that. And hopefully, things come together and later, and we'll see where that goes. Because there's other games that I'd rather buy right now. I'm just being honest. Games that I haven't had a chance to play yet that are on my bucket list to play, and I'd like to pick those up, and I'd rather do those than play this right now. There's a lot of games that I have yet to play. So that's probably where I'll end up doing for the foreseeable future, because I really didn't plan on spending any more money until the PlayStation 5 came out. And I'm definitely going to get into that too later on in the show. Now, let's move on and let's talk a little bit about, we've talked about Marvel. We've got that out the way. Let's fucking talk about the elephant in the motherfucking room. Okay. That smelly hot dog water elephant in the room. This elephant smells like fucking 4-day-old hot dog water. Okay. I'm talking about EA. Okay. EA is just, every time I say those 2 letters, man, I throw up a little bit in my mouth. I swear to God, this company has failed so fucking far from grace. I just don't know what to do. I remember the heyday of EA when they were the shit. Okay. When they were making all of those Knockout King games and the boxing games, and they were doing great things with the Madden franchise and all of this, man. But these motherfuckers have basically got complacent. They've got lazy, and it fucking shows. It's all over the fucking internet, guys. Madden has been shit for a very long time. That's why I haven't played it in some years now going on, because I caught wind of this shit long ago and I saw where they were heading with it. They already have the rights to the fucking franchise, and nobody else can make a fucking simulator NFL game for the next, 5-6 years now. They got this shit in lock. So they have no competition. And what does that spell? That spells they can do whatever the fuck they want, and nobody's going to pay for it. Or so they thought. because they are getting their asses tore the fuck up in these digital streets by gamers around the world. And it's starting to make them nervous. Their foreheads, their armpits are getting a little bit damp now. And it should be. Somebody needs to hold their feet to the fucking fire when they do shit like this. If nobody else, who? Because we're the gamers. We're the ones that want a good game. And I want to play Madden so bad, so bad that it hurts sometimes. But I'm not going to spend my money on boo-boo. I'm just not. The only way I'd play Madden right now is if it was fucking free. And they gave games away. This is not a lie. They've actually given games away. They were trending at one point, okay? To the point to where these motherfuckers said, look, we're just going to give motherfuckers some games free. We're going to give free codes out, thousands of free codes to people who are upset about the franchise and are choosing not to spend their money on it, just to shut them up. Okay. And that in itself tells me a lot of things about EA. That tells me that EA is scared and EA knows what they're doing is wrong. But who's going to stop them? Who's going to stop them from putting their butter on all the store shelves that we shop? Who's going to stop them from hitting us over the head, knocking us out cold, removing our garments, sliding our pants or our dress, whatever we have on, sliding it down to our ankles, putting that butter in the microwave for 10 seconds, letting it liquefy, taking it out of the microwave, sticking their tips into that warm liquefied butter, and then inserting it in our fucking ass. Okay. Who's going to stop them from doing this? Because they have been doing this for years now. All right. And it doesn't look like they're going to stop unless we do something about it. That's what's going on with EA right now. And that's not the only thing, man. Okay. They have a fucking user rating of 0.2. 0.2. A few days ago it was 0.4. They went lower. Okay. This is the worst Madden in years, and everybody's saying it and everybody fucking knows it. All right. They just don't give a fuck. They don't. And that's what happens when you have no competition. Madden back in the day was a great game because they had actual competition. I remember when 2K were making NFL games, which in my opinion was one of the best franchises for football games back in the day. Sega Dreamcast. Yo, they were the shit. And they had competition. They had real competition. Okay. They don't anymore. So as a result of that, you're seeing what you're seeing. And if you keep buying this shit, they're going to keep making this shit. So you got to stop. I know you love Madden. I know you love football. I do too. But you just got to stop. Sooner or later, man, this has got to stop. And I'm really, really interested to know when it comes time to renew this contract again, as far as exclusive rights, as far as the NFL giving EA exclusive rights to their fucking franchise for another fucking 5-10 years. I wonder what's going to happen. Okay, because these motherfuckers have tweeted out to the NFL, which they have not commented yet. I know they know what's going on out here. I'm going to be interested to see what's going to happen because I think they need to open up the floodgates. The NFL needs to go on and shop around and say, look, okay, EA, you want this fucking contract? You can have it, but you're not the only one. Now you have fucking competition, and watch how quickly they clean their fucking plate. Watch how quickly they remove that butter from those stores. I promise you. That will happen whenever somebody has competition, man. It just makes it better for everybody else. That's the beauty of gaming. That's the beauty of anything that you're being a consumer. Anything that if there's competition, they're always going to have a better product because everybody's fighting for your attention. They're fighting for your money. And right now, EA is not worried about that. So they have nothing to fear. Okay. The only thing that made them a little nervous is the fact that people have started trending and people have gotten in their asses and basically let them know we see what the fuck you're doing here. And you keep doing this shit year after year. Yeah, you're going to see it. So now they're scrambling in these motherfucking boardrooms. They're pouring out their sake in the toilet and they're stuffing out their fucking endo and putting it out and throwing it in the trash because they know they're fucking up and they need to drink coffee and they need to get their minds back right. And they're trying to figure out, okay, let's do some updates. Let's get some shit popping. There's just a lot of lazy work. Okay. They're just fucking done rosters. It's just a fucking roster update for the most part. All right. And they took a gang of shit out that used to be in the games back in the day. And it's just worse. It's just terrible. A lot of game companies are doing this, man. I still play 2K19, WWE 2K19, which is an awesome game, by the way. If you guys want to play a wrestling game, don't fuck with 2020. Okay. 2021 is not coming out. because of that, how trash it was. 2K19 is the definitive edition of that game right now. Me and my son play it all the time. We've been playing it every fucking night for the past week, probably longer than that now. And I forgot how dope 2K19 is, because it is. But that's when Ukes was still with the company and they're not there anymore. So it's just a lot of shit going on with a lot of these companies. EA is just spearheading this shit right now, in my opinion. And it needs to be stopped. It needs to be fucking addressed. I'm sorry. I had to say it like that because this fucking shit burns my soul when I see companies doing this stuff, man. It does. You know, they make all the other companies look bad. You know what I'm saying? So it needs to be addressed and it needs to be stopped. We already paid $60 for a fucking game. And then you want to add microtransactions on top of that. And then on top of that, the perfect cherry on top, you want to put a butter dipped piece of fucking crap together and call it a game. That's just my opinion. Hey, who am I? I'm just a motherfucker who plays video games, who does it all the time and who just sees what I see. I feel like the Watcher, you know what I'm saying, from the Marvel universe. I feel like I just have this big ass head and this fucking cape on and I'm just standing in the background watching all this shit unfold. And there's nothing I can do. I can't do anything about it. I feel like Beerus or Weiss. I'm watching, but I can't do a fucking thing. I have to let everything play out. But that's what it is right now. Hopefully EA gets their shit together. And that's saying something, because I think it's going to take time for this to happen in this digital age we're in now. It's just everybody is so fucking thirsty and they don't care about the fans. They don't care about the players. All they care about is money. How can they get that extra penny out of you? And it's going to backfire as you see it happening now right before you. And it's going to continue to backfire because people are going to only take so much shit. That's in any fucking thing you talk about. You can be talking about anything. You can only piss people off for so long, man. And to the point where shit boils over and then you can't stop. You can't stop the after effect. It's over. It's too late. There's nothing you can do. You can backtrack. You can say whatever you want, but then it's too fucking late. And EA, it's almost too fucking late. And like I said, this is not the only thing EA has been doing lately out here in these digital streets. There's something else. Okay. They are literally sneaking in disruptive ads, okay, into their UFC game. All right. I'm already pissed that they're making nothing but UFC games and are not making any more Fight Night Champion games or anything like that. That pisses me off all the way. But they are adding fucking real life ads in these fucking games. Okay. There's some fucking ad in the UFC game before a match. They're trying to get sneaky with it. Sliding these ads in here, man. And matter of fact, the ad is for a show that I must admit I cannot wait to watch the first episode of, which is The Boys, which debuted just not too long ago. But still, you're putting these ads in the game you've already paid $60 for. Ads are for free to play games. Okay, free to play, cool. Throw ads in there all you fucking want. Do that. But come on, man. You pay $60, $64 and some change with tax, and then you have to fucking look at ads in a fucking game. That's my problem with online games as well, though. That it really is, because when you're offline, hey, you don't have to worry about any of this shit. You're playing your game. Nobody can disturb you, and that is what it is. But this is ridiculous. This is why I love my single player games, because I don't have to be bothered with all of the fuckery. I don't. The extra butter on the table. I don't need that. You know, I already have 2 or 3 knots on my head from all of these other gaming companies who've already caught me slipping out here in these digital streets, and I'm done with it. So it's safe to say that they actually took the ads out. They actually gave a statement saying that they were sorry. They didn't know. They apologized. They didn't mean to offend any of the players. And now, as officially as of this post, they have removed the fucking ads. They knew what the fuck they were doing. They can't play dumb. They knew what the fuck they were doing. The execs fucking knew. It was basically a test tube idea. They were going to test it. They were going to sneak these ads in and see what happened. And then they were ready to put more ads. They were ready to do more. But thankfully, the fans jumped on it, jumped on their shit, put their throats, basically put them in a fucking headlock, and they made them take this shit off. That's what we have to do. I mean, that's what gamers have to do. That's what consumers have to do. If you feel bothered by something, you have to start a fucking hashtag. You have to start, something to get these motherfuckers to understand that you're playing with people's livelihoods in a sense. Gamers don't want to have to deal with all of that. Sometimes you just want to play a game. You want to turn a game on and you want to fucking play it and escape. Everybody has enough to worry about in this world. And you have to add insult to injury and add things like ads and games and all this other bullshit that some of these companies try to put on us. It's disrespectful and it's ridiculous. So I'm happy to hear that happened. And it just goes to show you need to watch EA. You need to watch a lot of these other companies because they will try you. They will definitely try you. And I'm not falling for the banana in the tailpipe anymore. All right. Off of fucking EA. Let's get off their fucking subjects because they're trash right now. I really, really, truly hate EA right now. Anyway, let's move on to the next lecture at hand, guys. The next lecture at hand, let's talk some fucking Nintendo. Yes, I said Nintendo. Nintendo is doing something that I personally can't wait to get my hands on. It came out of left field. First, let me start off with, they did announce Super Mario 3D Plus. This is something that a lot of people may be interested in. If you're familiar with the original game, which was for the 3DS, which was an awesome game, by the way, one of the best Mario games on there, in my opinion. But they're doing a plus version of it. I'm not sure what's all included in there, but it is coming out. But the thing that got me hype is that Super Mario 3D All-Stars. So basically Nintendo's 35th anniversary, what they're doing is they are going to release 3 classics. Okay, Mario 64, bang, you already got me there. You got Super Mario Sunshine, which I never got a chance to play, but always wanted to. Out of all these 3 games, Sunshine is the one I want to play the most. And then you have Super Mario Galaxy. So you get all these games. I haven't played Galaxy or fucking Sunshine. Okay. And I'm really hyped on Sunshine though. I really am. But you get all these games, $60. You get all these fucking games. Now, here's the caveat to that. This is something that I've never seen Nintendo do. And this is, I can't understand why they would do this. I'm perplexed on this. I really don't know, but I have an idea maybe why. Anyway, I'll get into that. You have a limited time to buy these. And I'm not talking about just physical. No, sir. I'm talking about digitally as well. Literally. So when this game releases, which is going to be September 18th, you have from September 18th to, I don't know the actual end day, but I know the end month, and that's going to be March of 2021. You have until then to buy these games. If you do not buy them, they're going to be removed. There will be no more. Okay. Now, physical, I don't know. You can probably resell if possible, but I guess they're going to stop production on the physical as well. After that date, they're cutting it off. So whatever's circulating out there, if you have a chance to get it, and you already know what's going to happen with that, scalpers, they're going to go crazy. The prices are going to fucking skyrocket, and they'll forever be expensive, like a lot of Nintendo games always end up being. There's still DS games that you have to pay full price for, if not more, for these games. And that's just the way Nintendo is. That's just how they always have been. But that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. I'm not going to lie to you. I mean, I'm going to buy it before that happens. But still, what about the people who, for whatever reason, can't get it or just not ready to get it or for whatever reason, and they want to get it later? Because there's plenty of games that I haven't played and hadn't played for years, and then I decide to pick it up. You won't have that option. They're pulling this Disney shit, like they're putting the game in the vault or some shit. I don't know, because they didn't say they were going to re-release the game. They just said they were going to be gone. Now you get all 3 of these classics, man. I mean, look, if you're a Nintendo fan, you probably find a way to get it. I definitely am now, because 3 games in 1 and Mario Sunshine, definitely, I'm definitely going to get it. But still, I think it's the wrong way to handle that. I really think it's the wrong way. And I think, I know why they're doing this. And I've heard some YouTubers talking about this. I think Yang Ye was one of them. I fuck with Yang Ye hard body. If you don't know who Yang Ye is, check him out on YouTube, man. He's a dope ass YouTuber, man. All right. Anyway, apparently they're doing this because if you pay attention to the dates, that's a quarter end date. So the reason they're probably trying to do this is because they're trying to get as many sales as possible. So when they report their quarterly income for that quarter, it's going to fatten up the numbers, make it look a lot better. And I think if that's true, it sounds like it is, because March is definitely the cutoff date for that quarter. I think that's fucked up. I do. I think that's a fucked up reason to do that, to patch your fucking numbers. I really do. That's kind of dirty. And Nintendo, I just didn't see that coming from. Nintendo doesn't have to do that. I mean, come on, really? You're Nintendo, man. It's like Nintendo looks like Justin Bieber, and you know what I mean? It's like he sees this fat, greasy looking bitch and, you know, he's accused of raping her, or he rapes her. You don't have to fucking rape her. You can get 10 hoes that look, you know what I mean? That looks like fucking stars and models. Why the fuck would you do that? That's how I fucking feel when I heard this. I was like trying to compare it to something, and that's what popped in my fucking head, man. You know what I mean? It's crazy. It doesn't make any sense to me as a consumer, but hey, it's another strange move by Nintendo. They've done strange things before. I mean, this Nintendo Switch, we still don't have party chat. I mean, I still don't understand why we don't have it when we can actually have party chat when we play games, you know, like Fortnite or like Warframe, which has their own dedicated servers. So why the fuck can't they implement that in a lot of their other multiplayer games? They're being cheap. They just don't want to do that extra workaround. I don't know the reason for that. Maybe they have it planned for the next gen console, but still, it should have been available now, in my opinion. That's just really one of my major pet peeves with Nintendo, with the Nintendo Switch. That aspect of it, because there's so many fucking fans of Nintendo, and being able to unite those fans and have parties and things like we do on PS4 and Xbox, man, it's almost a crime not to have that, in my opinion. But I guess it is what it is. I mean, Nintendo's going to do what the fuck they want to do, and they've always been that way. They're going to put their nuts on the table, and they don't give a fuck who sees it. That's just how they always fucking been. That's how they always fucking rolled. And it's just is what it is. If you got about 7 months, 6.5 months to go on and make this move and get it. You know, I guess if you haven't gotten it by then you really didn't want it. You know, if it's a game that you really want, say, ooh, I have to have this. You're not going to wait 6 months to get it. I guess they're looking at it like that as well, but they're using that as a leverage to kind of force us in a corner like a dirty mouse or rat to make this move prematurely or early. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I feel some type of way about it. It's like a happy, sad kind of thing, but I'm more happy than sad because you get 3 games for, you know, $60 price, and you get classic games. They're all fucking classic, and the graphics are going to be upscaled. So they're going to look good on the screen, on the big screen and all of that. So yeah, man, I mean, Mario 64 is still going to be, I think 4:3, I think, ratio, but it's still going to be upscaled, and it's not going to look shitty. Like if you try to play it, like if I tried to play my Mario 64 right now on my Nintendo 64 on my fucking computer monitor, it's not going to look like that. So that's cool in itself, I guess. But, you know, hey, that's the news on that. I hope they end up changing that at some point in time. You know, maybe they end up pulling, you know, a fast one on us and they get enough flack for that and they change it. Or maybe they remove the games and then after their quarterly report, you know, a couple months go down the line and they re-release the shit. Who fucking knows? At least digitally. You know what I mean? So that ought to be something to see. I'll definitely keep you guys posted on that, and we'll go from there. But September 18th, man, it's right around the corner. So I'm kind of chopping at the bit to jump in this because I have nothing else on my Playdar right now. Radar, whatever you want to call it, except for Genshin Impact and the DLC for Ghost of Tsushima. Those are the only 2 games that I'm really, really looking forward to jumping back in and playing this year. I don't think anything else. The only other game I can think of, hopefully if it comes out this year, is Little Devil Inside. That's another game. I've talked about that one in the past. If you guys don't know about Little Devil Inside, definitely Google that, guys. It's going to be a dope game. It's going to be exclusive to PlayStation, limited. It's going to come out for PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 first, and then it'll come out for, I think, PC and everything else after that. Yeah, so it's going to be a dope little game. And I just love everything about that game. Dope art style, everything about it. So definitely give that game a gander. But yeah, those are it, man. Those are the games. I can't think of anything else right now. Biomutant is another one, but I don't see that game coming out this year, guys. I have heard nothing about Biomutant, and I always do a check every couple weeks. I do an internet scan on this fucking title, and I get nothing in return. Nothing at all. So Grand Blue Fantasy is the other one, but that doesn't look like a 2020 release either. Have no news on that. That looks like a 2021 game. So yeah, man, the only 2 games really right now that I think are gonna come out this month So that Nintendo, that Mario shit is looking nice and tasty right now for me. Okay. Because besides my retro games and stuff that I fuck with, I definitely want to fuck with that Mario Sunshine. Anyway, thought I'd give that to you, give my thoughts on the matter. I'd like to know how you guys feel about that as well. I'm very interested to know. And we're going to move on to the last subject of the podcast, and that is going to be the Microsoft and the Sony train. Okay. When the game comes out, all this bullshit. Okay. And something dawned on me after watching plenty of YouTube videos and just thinking myself and wondering to myself, I don't remember this ever happening for a console before. I don't remember ever getting this close to a supposed release window and not knowing the fucking release date of the fucking thing. Okay. It's like they're playing a game of fucking chicken. Microsoft and Sony are. They're driving right into each other and nobody wants to buck. Nobody wants to fucking swerve out of the way. And especially with the COVID-19 thing, you throw that extra spice in the mix and you got all of this fuckery in these digital streets. And I don't know where to turn. I don't know who to run to for help. Okay. But it's making me nervous because I'm starting to wonder if we're going to get a chance to play this in 2020. The majority of us, I say. People have been talking about it. I mean, Sony themselves have stated that if you don't get an invitation from them to pre-order the game, you will not be getting the system. They're that limited. Okay. And if Sony is saying that, then it's only civilized to think that that's going to be the same case for everybody else. Everything is going to be very limited. The pre-orders are going to be crazy. People are going to be scalping these things like fucking crazy. eBay, I see it. I mean, it's already on the wall. The writing's already on the wall. And if you're going to do that, I wouldn't. But if you want it that bad, some people just have to have it day one. They just have to have it as soon as they can. And that's just how it is. And that, hey, that's your priority. That's your prerogative. I'm sorry. Do that if that's how you feel. But I've given up. I've basically said, you know what? I'm not going to torture myself. I'm not going to stress myself out over getting this thing day one. I'm not going to do it. If it's available, I will get it. When it's available, I will get it. When it's like, when I can go to my local GameStop or Walmart or Best Buy or whatever and just pick it up, that's when I'll get it. When they get enough in stock or whatever. And that's fine. I'm fine with that. I can wait a couple of months until they get these babies restocked or whatever. And that's cool. Some people aren't going to be able to live with themselves unless they have one. And that's fine too, if that's what you want. But I'm not going to be fighting, scrapping and fighting, trying to get one if that's what I got to do and overpaying for the shit. It's not going to happen. It's not worth it to me to do that for a new system, even though it does justify me buying one day one now because of the backwards compatibility with the PS4, in my opinion. But that's just me. I'm just one guy who loves his games, but I'm going to be smart about it as well. But it doesn't look like it's going to be coming out, guys, for everybody. I think it's going to be very scarce and very few people are going to be able to get their hands on it. Everybody else is going to probably end up waiting till after the holidays to get their hands on this when they finally are able to push that second run of systems out. I think then everybody will be able to finally get their hands on it. And I think that's what's going to happen. I think they're just behind right now in the warehouses and putting all this stuff together, these parts and all of these things. And there's just not going to be enough to give to everybody. And then once they catch up, which will be the second wave, the second run, I think then everybody will be able to buy what they want to buy. That's just how I feel about it. And that's the talk out here in these digital streets. That's what everybody's talking about. And look, if you hear it enough and it's going around enough, 9 times out of 10, man, it's probably the point. It's probably the case. That's probably going to happen. So just get ready for that. I wouldn't get my hopes up. If you want it one day one, it is what it is. Okay. Because all I was going to do anyway was play some of my backlog, some of my PS4 games on the system anyway. I would probably check out Miles Morales, but I probably wouldn't do that day one, depending on, everything was going to cost me. Because when I buy a new system, I like to buy 2 controllers. I like to buy 2 controllers first and just have that backup. I just have to have that backup. And Miles Morales might have come a week or 2 later or something. That's just what I'm thinking. So, we'll get there when we get there. If you guys have high hopes of getting it, I pray for you. I hope you get one. I really, really do. But we shall see. But apparently the details are supposed to be coming out any day now, though, as far as the pre-order details and the price, because people we still don't know how much it's just going to cost. I mean, I'm calling it. I'm guessing 500 for the main system with the disc insertion in there, and then for the digital only, I'm thinking 400. That's the prices I think they're going to be going for. I'm confident in those prices, but we still want that definitive answer from Sony. Like, what is this shit going to cost? Same thing with Microsoft. Everybody's holding on. Very, very close, very, very tight. So we'll see. But the event is supposed to take place. There's supposed to be an event taking place on September 9th. And on that day, we should know more. And that's in a few days. So we should know something soon. I hope we do, because I can't wait to talk about it. That'll be another discussion to have and in the next week's podcast for sure. But that's about it, baby. That's going to do it for the show. I want to thank everybody for listening. I want to thank all the newcomers for coming and checking out the podcast, streaming the podcast. The show has been doing excellent, guys. I've been getting so many new listeners every fucking week. It's amazing. I thank the Lord above for this, because, man, I'm finally starting to gain some leverage out here in these digital streets. And it feels so fucking good to know that you guys are listening and partaking in these activities that I am hosting for you guys. If you want to reach out to me on social media, I'm available pretty much every fucking where. You can definitely holler at your boy on Instagram at StudioMguyvR79. I have a lot of dope pictures, a lot of things that I like to do on there. And, you want to get to know me a little bit better, you can check out the Instagram. Also, if you want to holler at me on Twitter, I am at StudioMaguyver. You can also check out the Facebook page. That is StudioMaguyver as well. If you're into YouTube, most of us watch YouTube, definitely subscribe to my channel. That's Studio MacGyver TV. So just go to YouTube, type in Studio MacGyver T.V. and it should come up, and just subscribe to your boy's channel. Okay. I appreciate that as well. And last but not least, guys, if you want to support the show, you want to show your love for the show, then you can definitely donate for the cause. You can definitely do that on PayPal at paypal.me/StudioMaguyver. Or if you have the Cash app, which a lot of us have, I have it, all my friends have it, you can definitely donate something there on the Cash app. That's Studio MacGyver as well. Okay. Now, with that being said, guys, I'm going to get out of here now. I'm going to bow out gracefully. I want to say all the people who've been down for me since day one, who's been listening, who I know you guys very well. A lot of you guys, I see you all the time on my Instagram, and I love you guys dearly. Thank you guys for your support. Thank you for listening. All the newcomers who have joined the family, thank you as well. I cannot thank you enough for giving this podcast a chance and opportunity, and I hope you enjoyed yourself listening. And with that being said, I'm going to get out of here, guys. I will see you guys next week. This is Studio MacGyver, and you have been listening to Studio MacGyver's Dragon Ball and Video Game Podcast. See you next time.